Hi, we're back to talk about day 2.
Day 2.
The day that will live in infamy. The day that we almost flooded the RV.
Yes. Barely 48 hours into it.
Yeah, it was
already almost flooded the RV.
very unique experience. But we did not flood the RV. We almost flooded the RV. And I say we loosely, and really what I mean is me.
Yeah, it was
I
you.
almost flooded the RV.
I was inside.
So, the background for this luxurious story.
First of all, from this, we have also realized we should do things together.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You had been studying this whole sanitizing the water system for probably a month at least. Probably
At
you
least,
were always reading about it.
I've been working
Yeah.
up to this because I knew it was the first thing that we needed to do.
Right.
Before we could even get our rig set up on
Right.
the city water at the campground, and I'm like, I need water. That's like a bare necessity.
Yeah.
So
Because
I knew we had to do it first.
We were not on water at my parents' house when we were moving from Minnesota. When you left your job, we were staying on my parents' property for about 3 weeks-ish, but we didn't have water hooked up. So
No water.
So she's been antsy for having water. I mean, we went inside and used their water and everything and showered and everything. But so she's been really chomping at the bit here. Champing at the bit, I think.
Chomping.
I think it's
chomping.
I think it's actually champing. I saw that in a TV show one time.
Well, it might technically be
All right,
champing,
well, anyway,
but
you get
everyone
it.
says chomping.
It does. Okay, so anyway, she's real excited to do this.
I was very excited. Also,
Yes.
we've never even used the water system in our RV
We were like,
before.
we hope it works.
So I've just been beside myself ready to do this. And because I am who I am, I don't know how many different instructions I've looked up. So we are...
And I let her have that domain.
Yeah, I took it.
was
Even though
into that.
Even though technically the sewer and waters have historically,
It
from our
was
last
my
RV,
go.
been
Yeah.
your job.
The sewer stuff.
The sewer stuff and
The water was...
stuff.
We didn't sanitize the water tanks before. I don't think we knew to do that. I don't think we ever sanitized... Well, I didn't. I don't know if I was supposed to, but I didn't.
Well,
anyway, moving
I know,
on.
that was a
Let's
long
not talk
time
about
ago. So we're still here.
We didn't die.
We didn't die. We didn't get some kind of obscure disease either.
No, we didn't.
So anyway, but we did sanitize it this time. So
Yes.
anyway, my point is that there is no end to resources available to people to show you the correct way to do the sanitizing and whatever thing that you want to do in the RV. You know, there's so many resources out there. So I had looked at my physical manual that came with the RV. I looked at, there's an app for the brand of RV that we have that has tutorials and all kinds of great information on their site. Then we're in some Facebook groups for the type of RV that we have. Members on there are always sharing their tips and tidbits, wealth of information. I mean, there's really no lack of resources out there. But sometimes when you go to all these different resources, you know, it's like you're getting smarter by the book, but you're getting dumber like inside. So
Common sense.
My common sense was just going like, because we all understand how basically a plumbing circuit works, right? And you have to have a complete circuit to make it go around and round. So anyway, one of the first steps of the sanitization is that you remove the water filter, which I did.
It's a whole house water filter. So
It's a whole house water filter inside the RV.
You don't want to
separate from the one with
sanitize the water filter that's just going to filter out the
bleach that you're
bleach.
using to sanitize.
Yeah.
So, you know, that makes perfect sense to me. So I took out the filter, and it was great. I was ready to move on to the next step. So I got all my bleach mixture ready, and I went outside, and I got all the little sucky-uppy tubing ready so that we could get it up into the water system.
And by this point, you had told me now, okay, I'm getting ready to, because I was going to have to like turn on some sinks or something, or do something. I think you told me that I was going to have to turn on a sink.
I read that when you turn the water pump on, sometimes you have to turn the sink on too to get the pump primed.
So I was in there ready.
She was in there, ready. And so I start up the water pump, and it starts sucking up the water, and it's great, and it's amazing. And I tell her on the radio, it's great, it's working exactly like it's supposed to.
And I
I'm
said,
standing there,
Stop! Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. I think I said, the water's coming out from under the sink.
yeah, so immediate, shut it off, turn it off, stopped everything. And as soon as she says, water's coming out from under the sink, I recognize, oh, you mean the sink where I removed the water filter and forgot to put back the cartridge that holds the water filter, which is basically
Closing the loop.
completing the loop. So yeah, we basically
Had an
tried to s-
open pipe
Had an open pipe.
underneath our bathroom sink.
Yeah.
Just
chilling and waiting for some bleach water.
Yeah.
So thank goodness Bonnie was standing right there, and we narrowly averted disaster.
flooding
So
the RV.
caught it, grabbed the little bit that came out, immediately wiped it up with a towel, no biggie, and no permanent damage done. But it did remind me that we do all have that inner wisdom, that common sense.
You said you knew. You were like,
I
I knew
knew.
exactly what I did.
I knew. As
I
soon
knew
as
it.
she said, stop, it's coming out from under the sink, I knew, oh my God. I forgot to put the cartridge back on.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is if I had been just trying to like figure this out for myself, you know, I don't think I ever would have forgotten to put the
Or
cartridge
even
back
if
on.
you were just using the one manual,
Yeah.
but you were looking at two different manuals and kind of combining the information together, and one didn't mention it and one did.
Yeah, that's true, because I used the one manual that talked about the water filter to know how to take it off, and then I defaulted back to the one that came with our RV, and it doesn't say anywhere in that manual anything about the water filter, so it was off my radar. It was like I had looked at the other one and I completely moved on, I forgot all about it. So in retrospect, I can see how that happened, but it just reminds me of so many other times in my life where I hear that inner voice and, you know, either you discard it or maybe you can't hear it because you're so wrapped up in listening to what other people are saying, you completely override your own inner voice.
Yeah. Yep. You miss your own wisdom and your own common sense and guidance when you look outside yourself a little too much. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, also because there's only so much reading you need to do of how to
Yeah,
do it.
I
Like,
mean, there are a few like ABC steps that you have to take, but really how complicated is it? You're putting water in and then you're flushing it back out. So sometimes we make things a lot more difficult than they need to be.
so that was the big lesson. Was kind
That
of
was
like
the big lesson.
sometimes too much information. Information overflow.
Information overflow.
Overflow, flooded with information. I'm
Flood-
sure there's a lot of.
Ooh, I like
know,
that one.
there's a lot of
Flooded
puns we
with
could do.
information.
Yeah, you just
Waterlogged with information.
waterlogged with information. Okay, that's
A
a reach.
reach,
but I'll
a little
take it.
reach, okay.
I'll take it. And so that's like the first lesson. But also now we're like we do new things together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both of us. So
Absolutely.
even if it means you have to wait a minute until I finish eating to go do the next step that you want to do, then that's what we're going to have to do. Because
mean-
we do things together now.
It is more fun to do things together. That's the primary motivation, but there is the secondary bonus that when something goes wrong and I have a finger to point, I can point it at both of us instead of just at me.
Yeah, because
It's a sharing.
I picked up the manual and was like, it does, this part that you're looking at has nothing to do with this instructions, and I was like, I don't, that is one way you could interpret it.
Because I was looking at a different See,
Yes.
again, it's too much information.
Yes.
Too
Whereas
much
I only looked at
information.
the one manual and was like, oh, this seems pretty clear
Yeah.
that you should have maybe caught this.
But if we'd have looked at that manual, we would have never removed the water filter to begin with. And then it would have never
Yeah,
worked because
that's
it
weird.
didn't say to remove it, and I'm pretty sure that you have to remove it. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's where we're at.
But there was no filter in it to begin with, so there actually,
No, there was a
filter?
no. You're right. There
Yeah,
was
I
no
don't think
filter.
so.
There was no filter.
There was no filter. in
Oh,
it. Yeah.
there wasn't even a filter.
No.
We could have just left it.
Yeah. There was no filter in it to
That's
filter
true.
anything.
There was no filter.
Because
Oh, well.
remember when you pulled the filter off,
It was
you
full
showed
of
me
water.
it was full of, the filter holder. You showed me it
But
was full
also
of
think
water.
about that. That was like dirty water from the last people that own this. Because
I don't want to think about that too much.
Yeah. Okay. So we're
That's
just
gross.
let's move on.
Yeah. Let's move on. So that was day 2.
And that's how we almost flooded our RV.
That's day 2.
We can do this.
This is 365 days we're doing this, and we already almost flooded it. So
All right.
Again.
No more water adventures.
no more water adventure. We made it. Are we gonna make it? Yes, we did.
We
Day
made
2.
it. Day 2.
Stay tuned for 3.